This week on the Silver and Black Show, Jim Plunkett and I get you ready as the Raiders head back on the road to face the 3-0 Ravens. Veteran safety Reggie Nelson stops by, and Chris Townsend goes one-on-one with Jack Del Rio to talk about the defensive rebound in Tennessee. All that and more on the Silver and Black Show, starting right now.
The Silver and Black Show.
The defense, my goodness, we can get off their back now. They won their game for us. That right there was a prime example of what I've seen every day in practice.
Mariota going to roll out right. He can run 20, and he did not go feet first. He fumbled the ball on the 24-yard line, and the Raiders may have it. They do.
There was so much pressure on them. There was all these things said, and I just wanted to see the fruit of the hard work that they put in be produced, man. And I was so happy for them. I know when you're struggling on one side of the ball in a certain way, you just want to see that hard work pay off, and it did today, man. They deserve all the credit.
Welcome to the Silver and Black Show. I'm your host, Nicole Zalumis, alongside two-time Super Bowl champion Jim Plunkett. And Jim, a flip of the script last week. We saw the defense close out a game on the road. A fun fact, this is the first time that the Raiders have been 2-0 on the road since 2002. What stood out to you defensively?
Well, I think one of the things that stood out, they hung in there. They had their backs against the wall, especially towards the end of the ball game, and the old saying, they bent, but they didn't break, and they were able to hold them out of the end zone and preserve the victory for the Raiders. And I thought they did a very good job. They had their hands full. And to be lucky in this league, when your offense isn't operating on full throttle, sometimes your defense has to step up, and vice versa. When you can do that in certain games during the course of the season, you're bound to come out on top.
But the offense and Derek Carr did enough to get the job done. Let's go to our headlines. We start with what Jack Del Rio has been asking for, and that's a ground attack. Just run, baby. From day one, Del Rio has voiced his desire for a strong run game. Through 3 weeks, the Raiders have not only been strong, but they've boasted one of the best rushing attacks in the league. They are top 3 in every major rushing statistic, including a league-leading average of 5.9 yards per carry. And maybe the most important here is they've yet to fumble. Jim, this three-headed monster running back is fun to watch. Despite another tackle going down, this offensive line continues to dominate.
Oh, they certainly do. They're second in the league in rushing, starting with Latavius Murray. He provides the bulk in there. He beats up linebackers and linemen trying to tackle him. Then you got Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington, who provide the speed, the quickness after a change of pace. Sometimes it's very hard for those linemen and linebackers to adjust to the speed of those smaller guys, and they come up with big plays time and again. At least 3 games into the season, they've been a big help, supporting and backing up Latavius Murray.
Percentage with no touchdowns. Jim, the run defense still has room to grow, but what a major step forward for this unit. And talk about the play of the secondary.
Well, I think they're around the ball constantly. David Emerson, once again, since he took over late in the season last year at cornerback and the first 3 games of this year, he's been playing extremely well. He's doing a lot of the things. He's around the football all the time. Whether the guy catches or not, he's there to make the tackle. He's just an aggressive, well-disciplined defensive back. And, of course, this defense is going to improve as the season goes on. Hopefully we can get all the parts going in the right direction, help out that offense. And, I only see good things coming from this defense.
And one of their leaders on defense, Reggie Nelson, is going to join us in just a few moments. The final headline here, defending the nest. The Ravens are 3-0 to start the season due to one of the best defensive units in the NFL. They're second in the league in total defense, holding teams to just 254 yards per game. They've forced 5 turnovers, 9 sacks in 3 weeks, and they will have the backing of a fired-up Baltimore crowd. Jim, no let-up in the NFL, another tough road test for the offense. What is your best plan of attack here?
They're doing a heck of a job on defense, and that's one of John Harbaugh's keys to his winning football program. They're ferocious, they're tough, they do get a lot of turnovers, and they're always around the ball. So you got to be able to run the ball, keep it away from their offense, which is very good at times.
As I said, Reggie Nelson making his debut here on the Silver and Black Show. That's coming up next.
Mariota has time over the middle, juggled and picked off by Reggie Nelson.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. Reggie Nelson, welcome to the show. It's your first time here, and look at you, all smiles. You're always smiling when we see you.
You have to, man. You have to.
Well, I'm sure you were smiling underneath that helmet during the interception. Take us through that play.
Oh, man, it was a good play that David Emerson made, DA made, and I seen him deflect the ball, and I came all the way across to the other side, and I seen him deflect the ball. I was like, oh, man. I said, I'm finna get my first pick as a Raider. So ended up deflecting, I caught it, and I was just trying to score a touchdown. But, I think I would have scored if they wouldn't have called me out. But, they called me out of bounds. So
you were
maybe
so
next time.
Close. Where does it rank on top plays on your list?
It's big. I mean, I got my first pick as a Raider. I mean, that's huge once you get the first pick out of the way.
So tell me about joining the Silver and Black, your early thoughts on this defense.
Oh, man, when I first came in, I seen the opportunity of us, building a good defense and being something special. I mean, they added a lot of key pieces to the defense, and, me coming in, knowing Coach Jack Del Rio and knowing how he operates and stuff, I knew I'd come in and fit right in and be comfortable, because I didn't want to, worrying about am I doing the right thing. So I already know how Coach Jack operated, and I knew I can fit right in those lines.
Who has changed more since that time, you or him?
I think we both have changed for the better, though. So, I mean, I'm just happy to be a part of this organization and be a part of something special that he's trying to build over here.
Do you feel like you're playing with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because during free agency people were calling you old at the ripe old age of 32, but to prove the naysayers wrong?
I love it when they call me old. I mean, it's see ball, get ball at the end of the day, and my job is to win games and to get to that next level, and I think I've been doing a good job of that and helping this defense win games.
What advice do you give to the young guys, say a Carl Joseph getting their first taste of the NFL?
The key thing in this league is to take care of your body. I mean, you got to take care of your body if you want to play a long time in this league, and, I learned that firsthand when I first came in from Fred Taylor, and, I think that's been a key with me staying healthy and coming out performing on Sunday. So, I mean, any young guy, you just got to take care of your body and let the rest take care of itself.
A lot of great things were said by Harbaugh about you as you guys gear up to face the Ravens. What can we expect from Joe Flacco?
I mean, Joe Flacco is a big, tall guy, and he's doing a great job over there leading the Ravens, and got a big arm. Steve Smith, I mean, it goes on. Mike Wallace, Pitta. I mean, they got a great group of guys, and we got our work cut out this Sunday. And, that's why we come in here every day, look at film, and prepare for that.
Focusing on those tight ends. All right, now let's focus on the personal side of you. 5 questions. We get to have some fun.
5?
5.
Oh,
it's
man.
Okay. They're painless. Your favorite
Are
athlete?
You sure?
Favorite athlete growing up?
John Lynch.
Oh, okay.
I was a Tampa Bay fan.
Oh, all right.
He was a hitter.
Best thing about living in California?
The weather.
It is nice, isn't it? Yeah. It's a little hot right now, though.
Yeah, but I'm from Florida. I can deal with the little hot.
Okay, so you're a family man. If you had to have one teammate babysit for you, who would it be?
On the Raiders? Oh, man.
I hope you have an answer.
I would let...
All of them?
DC.
They're all such great guys. I've heard that before about Derek Carr. He's the one. Well, he knows how to change diapers.
DC and Lee Smith.
Who has more swag? This is my favorite question of the 5. Sean Smith or Jack Del Rio?
Oh, you man.
Sean's got the smile, but Jack
cool.
has those throwback leather jackets.
Sean too cool. I like Sean. He come in the building with his shades, Ray-Bans and stuff on. Sean, I think Sean got him on that one.
Yeah, if you can wear sunglasses inside, then you definitely have more swag.
I was like, dude, take them off. I mean, you inside the building now. I would say it's all right.
You just celebrated your 33rd birthday. As we said, you were a dinosaur.
Yes.
The best gift you've ever received?
The best gift I ever received.
And it doesn't have to be a birthday gift, just...
Well, my daughter made like a picture. I don't know. I'm not a social media guy. She made some little Snapchat thing of us, and, it was just her memories. I just thought that was sweet and special that she found those pictures and can relate to those between me and her.
Anything the kiddos give you
Anything.
falls into that category.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Reggie, for joining us. Best of luck to you throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you
More
for
to
having
come
me.
with Jack Del Rio next.
This one would be for the record breaker, the 52-yarder. Right hash mark, Kondo will snap. King will hold. It is down. Janikowski has it away. He has the distance, and it is good. And that is a record breaker and the record that Janikowski really wanted in his career. That is his 53rd field goal he's made from 50-plus yards out.
What a special day for Sebastian Janikowski as he passes Jason Hanson as the all-time leader of field goals of 50-plus yards. Al Davis took a lot of criticism when he drafted Seabass in 2000, but 17 years later, Sebastian Janikowski is still breaking records. Must be nice for the Raiders offense to know they have that kind of weapon, that all they need to do is pass the 50 and you're in Seabass range. Chris?
Yes, Nicole, you're right. You talk about what a great career Sebastian Janikowski, the Polish cannon we like to call him around here. 17 seasons in the league, Coach, and still getting it done.
And still getting it done, still kicking him 50 yards plus. And, he's had a great offseason. He's ready to roll. He's got a great start to the year.
He has the most field goals, 50 yards or more. What kind of confidence do you have in him when you know it's going to be a deep field goal?
Yeah, I feel very confident with him, and I have in the time I've been here. You come in to a situation, the guy's a really good player. He's been a good player for a long time, and he continues to prepare in a way that gives him a chance.
And last week we were talking about defense, and you promised the defense was going to get better, and your defense delivered.
Well, it's going to get better again because it's got a ways to go yet, but we've got a good group. We've got a great group of guys. We're unified. Guys are accountable. We're all in it together, and I believe we'll continue to improve.
And you think 69 points in the first two games, but you only give up 10 last week, kind of a bend, don't break there at the end. You had to be proud of their performance, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I don't like the bend but don't break part that you just threw in there. It makes me want to jump across the table right now. But we'll take the 10 points we gave up in the victory.
Yeah, and always getting wins on the road. People don't realize how hard it is to win on the road in this league, and to think you're starting out 2-0 with a chance to make it 3-0 this week against Baltimore.
Yeah, and it's really proud of our guys. You have to do a lot of things well in order to go on the road and win, and part of that is traveling well. I feel like we've got a good handle on that. We're going to need to because we have a really demanding travel schedule this year.
And it's going to be interesting going to Baltimore. They're a very good football team. You know all about them. You know what their quarterback does, and their defense it's quicker now probably than it's ever been before. Break down the Ravens for us.
Yeah, good football team. They're 3-0. They've had 3 close games. They've got a quarterback with a big arm. They've got a defense that is a little more athletic than it's been the last couple of years. They've got some guys back, from injuries. It's a good football team. We're looking forward to the challenge.
When we talk about Khalil Mack and not having the sacks, and you're going up against a guy like Joe Flacco, how important is it to get him going this week?
Well, I'll say it again. I don't think we need to be worrying about Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack's an excellent football player. He's getting a lot of attention right now, which frees up other people. Last week people want to know about Khalil Mack. The offense goes 2 out of 12 converting third down. He's having a big impact on games. Want him to continue to do his thing. The numbers will come.
Is that tough as a young player to learn when you're getting double teamed and you're constantly getting chipped, and you see it with the great players through football history? You got to learn to fight through that. Is that tough for a young player?
Yeah, I don't know if it's tough for young, old. Anytime you're drawing 2 and 3 blocks, it makes it a little harder for you, but it should free up your teammates. And we're about the team playing well, the team playing good football, and his numbers will come, and our defense will continue to get better.
I remember when Michael Crabtree hurt his Achilles, and people wondered what kind of player he would be for the rest of his career, and went for 100 yards this last game for the 9th time in his career. What just a great security blanket he has been for you and your quarterback. Talk about your veteran wide receiver.
Yeah, Michael Crabtree has been sensational. From the day he got here, he's been a great teammate. He's been a leader. He loves to play. He loves football, and it shows on Sundays.
I remember when Jim Harbaugh said he's got the best hands I've ever seen, and people kind of mocked that.
Yeah.
But the catches we see him make, they're incredible.
Yeah, he's got great hands. I played with a guy named Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Had exceptional hands. I think Michael Crabtree has hands like that.
And Smith, their wide receiver, is pretty darn good. You know a lot about him. We thought he was retiring. He's still playing.
He is. He's come back from his injury. He's doing a nice job. He's a chip on the shoulder kind of guy. He plays with a lot of fire. I love Steve. He's been a good player. I was together with him in 2002, and that's a long time ago to be still playing at such a high level.
And you think about your offensive line continuing to get it done, not only in the running game, as you guys are second in rushing, but also keeping your quarterback upright and not taking any hits.
Well, that'll be one of the keys for this Sunday is how do we take care of the quarterback and how good a job do we do running against that front. This is a very physical front. They've been very stingy to start the year. You want to test yourself against the best. I think that's one of the better fronts we'll go against, and it'll be a big challenge for us, and we're looking forward to seeing how we compete.
And you're going to have a challenge with the Ravens because they're very good on special teams. Their head coach is a special teams guy.
He is, yeah. I'm a special teams guy. I love special teams too. So
you like it all: defense, offense, special teams.
I do. All three phases. I believe, as a football team, we want to grow in those areas, become better, and we're looking forward to this great opportunity to go in and take on an undefeated Ravens team at their place.
Well, good luck in Baltimore, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Coming up next, we're going to look at Week 4. We got Nicole and Jim Plunkett going to break it down right here on the Silver and Black Show.
Professor Kennedy here with this week's edition of Chalk Talk, brought to you by the Ray Morgan Company. Big win last week by the boys against Tennessee, but having to go across the country again to take on the Baltimore Ravens is going to be even a harder task, especially since the Raiders have never won at M&T Stadium. So let's take a look at what they do well at home. The Ravens are notoriously a pressure front defense. And so here you have 6 men in protection, 5 offensive linemen, and a back. And you've got 6 potential rushers. The way this is going to break down, ideally, is he'll take him, he'll work with the center to him, he'll go out, and he'll go out. So you give your 5 bigs on your 5 offensive linemen, and then you allow your back to block the middle linebacker. What often happens to visiting teams in stadiums is they lose communication because it's hard to get out the calls. Initially, it seems like they've got everything picked up, but notice how the guard falls off with the miscommunication in the center, and LaShawn McCoy gives way too much penetration to the interior game between the defensive tackle and the linebacker. The Raiders have had experience against the Baltimore Ravens for a few years. Last year when they came to see us, they had the same blitz package they've carried over for another year. They're a little bit more efficient in their first 3 games, but it'll be a big chore for our boys when they go back to Baltimore this weekend. Ideally, everyone knows on offense, if you're able to pick up the blitz, you're able to get big plays because you expose the secondary, and there is no difference. And we've got one classic example to show what happens when you pick up the blitz. And you watching this play, Derek's going to have enough time to survey the field, but most importantly, he's going to hit Amari Cooper for a big play. See the structure of the pocket? Still holding together. Derek puts a nice ball up. Cooper runs out under it. Touchdown. That's what happens when you expose your secondary with blitzes. That does it, class. This is Chalk Talk, brought to you by the Ray Morgan Company. I'll see you next week.
He kind of had a breakout game against us, probably in some ways last year, and they're going to get the ball out quick. They're going to protect him. They're going to keep him clean. He hasn't been sacked very much. He hasn't had a lot of turnovers, very few fumbles that he's caused, and that's a formula for success on offense. So they've done a good job of that. 2 premier receivers. Amari Cooper, just first day he stepped on the field in the National Football League, was a star. And Michael Crabtree, I have a lot of respect for Michael because he played for my brother, got to know him a little bit that way, and he's kind of back. He's back, and he's a premier receiver also. And they've got a big physical offensive line, so they're well built.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. Jim, the Ravens are coming off a close win like the Raiders. They ended up beating the Jaguars 19-17. We focused on the defense. Now let's take a look at the offense.
Sure.
It's Joe Flacco, and he has a multitude of weapons. This is going to be another test for the Raiders secondary.
Well, it certainly is. Joe Flacco likes to put the ball down the field, but they're more of a control team underneath, but they want to get that chance to put the ball down along the field. And, Dennis Pitta is the tight end, leading receiver. You got to be able to stop him. They've got Mike Wallace from Pittsburgh, who's can get down the field in a hurry and make up a big play. Stephen Smith has been around the league for a long time. Great hands and always dangerous. So you got to find a way. We've struggled with the pass defense so far, and hopefully they'll get better. They did a good job against Marcus Mariota down in Tennessee, and hopefully they'll improve on that this week. But they're going to have to slow that team down.
Well, I know that their aerial attack is a threat, but they're also going to be looking to establish a run game.
Sure. They've got Justin Forsett, who's really a good, solid player, and he catches the ball extremely well. Terrence West is the other running back. And they're going to try to run the ball. There's no question about it, but then they're going to look for that play action, get the ball down the field when they can.
You mentioned that area of weakness for the Raiders, and that's the opposing tight ends. You mentioned Dennis Pitta, 18 catches for 183 yards. How do they focus on containing him, shutting him down?
Well, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I still say it's the pass rush that decides everything, but they can go inside, outside on the tight end. If he breaks out, the outside guy takes him, and vice versa. But just try to cover him tighter and tighter. He's a good player. There's no doubt about it. He's going to get his catches. but hopefully he won't hurt you down the field, and everything will be in front of you.
It's time now for Plunkett's Pick of the Week, where you pick one area of focus that's going to be the difference maker here.
Well, I'd like to see the defensive secondary play a little tighter, closer up man-to-man, a little bit more often, and not start off 10, 12 yards deep. Get up 4, 5, 6 yards from the receiver and follow that guy wherever he goes on the field. Of course, you got to change it up occasionally, but I would like a lot tighter coverage, and hopefully that'll slow Flacco in finding the receiver and giving the defensive line a chance to get to him.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Silver and Black Show. We'll see you next week when the Raiders open up divisional play at home, taking on the Chargers. For Jim Plunkett, Reggie Nelson, Jack Del Rio, and Chris Townsend, I'm Nicole Zalumis. Go Raiders.